Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 30 of Knits and Pieces. I can't believe it's 30 already.
I know.
I mean, because we started at 19. That's still a lot.
11. I know, right?
I know. Yeah. So anyway, we're a knitting podcast. I'm
Noelle. We're multi-crafting.
Mostly knitting. We are multi-crafting. We do a lot of things and a lot of talking. But anyways, we're coming to you from Southwestern Ontario. I'm Noelle. And this is my friend,
Kelly.
And we're happy to be here with you. It's been a while since we've done an actual podcast. We do our knit chat every week on Tuesday, and that's a lot of fun. But we haven't done a podcast in about, 6 weeks, maybe?
6 weeks.
So we have a lot to share.
It's been a minute. We have a lot to get through. So Let's jump in.
Yeah. So we should start with some admin stuff first.
Okay.
So I'll talk a little bit about the sock cal.
Yes, we have
our ongoing sock cal, which has been going on since the beginning of the year. And I just cannot believe the entries in there. It's like amazing. Like we've got to date, I think when we looked yesterday, Kelly, what was there? 800 and something?
833 yesterday.
Wow. That's awesome. That's amazing.
That's a lot of socks.
That's a lot of socks and a lot of new patterns.
Cozy feet. That's what that is. That's some cozy feet.
That's right. And a lot of new patterns that I've had to favorite because I hadn't seen before. So that's great. Like, I mean, both Kelly and I usually always have at least a pair of socks on the go. So we love to see all the different socks, patterns, yarns. It's amazing. So anyway, how our sock cal works is we do a draw prize at the end of every month. But when we pick that prize, we actually go back to the beginning of the year. So the prize gets drawn from, whatever that first pair of socks was in there until the end of whatever month we're drawing for. So in this particular podcast, because we haven't podcast for 6 weeks, we've actually got both June and July. So Kelly's got some winners that she's going to let you know. And we've got some prizes here that we're ready to give out. Okay.
We just want to say too, we are really, really grateful for the prizes that are donated to us. Mm-hmm. We've been very fortunate to have some supporters of our podcast that are eager to share their joy or their fiber joy with you. So firstly, we have each month our friend Natalie of Remembrances Pottery, and I think everybody is really familiar with her beautiful pottery mugs. Natalie is much more than a potter, though. She is also a fantastic pattern designer, and socks, colorwork socks in particular, are her specialty. And she has some absolutely beautiful patterns. And Natalie has generously donated for us to give away each month one of her patterns. So the first prize. So for June, we had 681 entries from January to June, and random number generator chose number 331. Slide below. Congratulations, Lynn. You have won a pattern from Natalie, and you can contact Noelle and I through either Instagram or Ravelry on our forum pages on Ravelry, and you can just send us a message and we'll send you a code so that you can choose one of Natalie's patterns. Congratulations. And the second prize for June is a yarn prize. Now, this prize was donated by my friend Benta of Arctic Crafts. Benta is a dyer in Norway, and she works from her home, and she pumps out some absolutely beautiful colors. And this is a Polldale sock. So it's an 80-20 Polldale wool and nylon. It's 100 grams. It's a superwash. And she calls this one Neon Pop Rocks. And I think this is a fantastic color.
Yep.
For summer, for some summer socks. Or I could even see adding like a smoky gray to this
Mhm.
and turning that into an absolutely beautiful shawl. So
Yep.
thank you so much, Benta, for supporting our podcast and donating this fantastic prize. Random number generator chose number 304, which is Peggy. Congratulations, Peggy.
I think Peggy won. Did Peggy win something last time?
Yes, Peggy won.
Yes.
The pattern last time.
So that's, we should say that too, that if a pair of socks can only win once, but if you put in multiple pairs, then your other pairs have a chance to win too.
Yes.
So,
and I think yesterday when we were doing the random number generator, we checked Peggy's entries, and Peggy has entered to date 31 pairs of socks in our
that's
finished
amazing.
socks. That is a lot of knitting, Peggy.
That is amazing. Yep.
And I can't wait to see what you're going to do with this. This is absolutely beautiful.
She's a super sock star.
She's a super sock star. Super sock star. Okay, on to July's prizes. So by the end of July, we had 817 entries in the sock pool. So many socks.
Yep.
So many socks. And the pattern prize from Remembrances Pottery goes to random number generator 154. Congratulations. And that happens to be Benta of Articrafts. Okay.
Oh, well, we know she knits socks. Lots of socks.
Benta she's a prolific knitter. Like I know that you knit fast, Noelle. Benta, I think she could keep pace with you for sure. She's pumping out projects like mad. She's a fantastic knitter.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I think you have the yarn prize this month with you.
Yes, I do. The yarn prize this month is a set from Rose Hill Yarns. This is called In a Flutter. And Rose Hill Yarns is a dyer here in Canada. And this is her sock set. It comes with a 50-gram main skein and then a 20-gram mini. So that's enough to do like most women's sizes in a pair of socks. So that's the prize for July. Nice, summery and bright. So
pretty. And the winner for that, random number generator chose 676. Congratulations, Nancy McKnitter.
Yeah. I bet you that's not a real last name, though.
Wouldn't that be really cool?
That would be cool. That would be cool for that to be your last name.
So again, if your name has popped up on this podcast and you've won a prize, just contact us. We're easy to reach in a variety of places. We'll also put information at the end where you can reach us and in the show notes below. So congratulations. Keep knitting those socks.
It's awesome.
I can't wait to see what number we get to by the end of December.
And because like realistically, this is kind of about the time of year where people really start to think about doing socks and that for Christmas. So who knows, that number could double.
Wow.
So
cozy feet.
Anyway,
cozy feet.
Right. That's right.
So the other KAL that we are currently running in our Ravelry group is Shift Happens. And
it certainly does.
Around Noelle and I, shift happens all the time. We've already lost connection twice while trying to do this podcast. But so the Shift Happens KAL is any Andrea Mowry shifty pattern. And there are 4 that she has published. There is a hat called the Shift Along, the cowl called the Shift.
Yep.
The shawl is called the Night Shift, and the sweater is called the Shifty. Yeah. And Noelle has expanded her own pattern library, and she has included her own pair of socks and her own pair of mittens that she's going to show you later. So all you have to do is knit any one of those shifty projects and enter it into our finished objects. And I know we have a tag going on Instagram that I will insert here. And we see a lot of entries going on in there. So we only have 15 finished objects so far, but you have until the end of August to get this project completed. So I know that you're going to come through and we're going to see everything pile in there towards the last of August. But there have been some absolutely gorgeous entries, and I can't wait to
Yes,
see all the rest
and
that come in.
gorgeous whips that I can't wait to see finished.
Yes, absolutely.
So, yeah.
I'm working on a shawl. I'm not going to show it in my whips today because I've already showed it, but I've only got 2 sections left to finish it. So I'm excited for that. And it's beautiful fall colors. So I'm here for fall. I'm ready. Just saying.
Too early.
No, not too early. There's that nip in the air. I am ready.
I know, but it would be okay. It would be okay if fall lasted longer before it got to winter.
Yes. So this is also a perfect segue into our upcoming Cal, because our next podcast will be probably in the first week of September. So we want to give you some advance warning of where we're headed in September. And I will let Noelle talk about that.
Okay. So starting September 1st, we are going to do a fall shawl. Is that what we're calling it? Fall shawl?
Fall for shawls.
Oh, fall for shawls. Okay. We're doing fall for shawls. I'll probably get that wrong every time. But anyway, you can knit any shawl that you'd like. It can be a 1 skein shawl. It can be DK weight, Aran weight, fingering weight, lace weight. And you will have from September 1st until October 31st.
Yes.
To complete it. So we'd like to see all the shawls because everybody needs to make shawls for their shawl wall.
You could also crochet it.
Yes, you can crochet it.
I'm thinking of crocheting one.
Are you? Oh yeah, that would be awesome.
Yes.
I'm thinking of making some, even though I really probably don't need any more shawls, but there's so many gorgeous patterns.
I know.
So anyway, so that's going to be our next Cal. There's not going to be any whips, but you've got, you know, some time here to think about what you want to do, get your yarn together, your pattern, your needles. You can, if you swatch, you can swatch before it starts.
Yes.
And then you'll be all ready to start for September 1st.
Yes. Yes. So we will have a thread up and running, a chatter thread up and running. And we could start that probably.
Yeah, I could start that. Yeah. Because you can put in what your ideas are or what you think you might want to do, or, you know, and I mean, if you want to create your own pattern, that's fine too. So
absolutely.
In fact, that would be awesome.
That would be really awesome. Yes.
And if you were going to do a night shift shawl and you didn't get to it yet, you could start that then too.
Perfect time. Exactly.
Yeah.
So yes, that's fall for shawls coming up September 1st.
Yes.
So that's it. We have some great prizes coming up too for both of those. So you guys get knitting, get crocheting, get making. So, all right. What are you wearing today, Noelle?
Okay. I am wearing my Peep Show pullover. I should just do a little stand here. So you can even see down at the bottom, you've got the little drop stitches again. So this is by, I need to get this right here. This is by Morgan Woltersdorf, but on Ravelry, her username is More Thunder. And this is done in Full Moon Fibers, Moon Rock Slub. I know you don't like that name, Kelly, Slub. But anyways, it is Moon Rock Slub. The color is Lavender Fields. And then what I've used for the little bit of contrast here is Lichen and Lace. It's their 80-20 sock, and this is the Sugar Plum colorway. And I mean, it hardly took any of the Lichen and Lace, I think less than 30 meters. So that was to do this, the one round here, and then all your edges, your cast on and cast off edges are all done with the contrast. And even in the Moon Rock, because you're knitting it at a fairly loose gauge, but because it's got all the little slubby bits, slubs that fill it in, you can knit it at a loose gauge and it still, you know, still has good coverage. So I think there was only, what did I use in that? I think like 1.09 skeins.
Wow.
So it's a really nice summer pullover. I mean, it is wool, but it's not, because the gauge is loose, it's not super hot, and wool does have that breathable quality. So I really like it. And I liked knitting with the slub, and I want to do more projects in it. I did alternate skeins because you just never know, right? Even in the slub yarn, you just never know if it's going to pool. So I did alternate skeins. And what else did I do? In the cast off down at the bottom, because I had a German twisted cast on, I did and I think I talked about this on Knit Chat, the Icelandic bind off. That kind of is a bind off. Yes, it's a bind off that actually resembles your twisted German cast on. So it just kind of keeps everything matched up. And it's super easy to do. And there's lots of great tutorials on I can't remember who I watched, but there's lots of great tutorials for it. It's just called the Icelandic bind off.
I really like it. It's a beautiful
Thanks.
color. It's a nice neutral, and I love I like any pattern that has drop stitches.
I
Because,
know.
well,
And
firstly, you do an advance really quickly. It's like playing a board game, and you get to jump 6 spaces. You move forward really quick in the project, and I like that. But I just like the effect it gives too. It's like it's a lace, but not a lace, right? And I really like that. And
yeah, it just gives a little bit of interest too, right? To a plain pullover.
It does. Yeah. And getting back to that, the yarn, I just watched the Little Red Mitten podcast this week, and Carrie had done a just like a basic raglan sweater in the slub. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed.
It looked really good. I think, did she hold it with mohair?
I don't even think she did.
Oh, maybe. Okay. I know. I've got some more in another color, and I really want to do, I'd like a long sleeve one for winter.
Yeah. Well, hers is a long sleeve, and I'm there for it. I really like it. I think it looks great.
Well, it's nice to have a different texture for a change too, right? And you get a nice different look than just plain stockinette, even though what you're doing is just plain stockinette.
So do you remember there used to be a yarn, it was called boucle?
Yep.
Sort of similar to that. You get the same effect when it's knit, right? Like you get an uneven texture, but it adds like so much visual interest that it's perfect for a plain sweater, because the yarn is what's speaking, right?
That's right. I think with the old boucles, though, they tended to be a heavier weight.
Well, they also tended to be acrylic.
Well, yes, and they weren't in a fingering. So it's nice that this is a fingering, so that even though you do have those thicker spots, it's not like you get an all over really stiff pullover.
Yeah.
So
very nice.
Well, the Full Moon Fibers has lots of gorgeous colors in it. Like they've got lots that are like this, but they've also got some really nice like deep tonal ones. Like there's a beautiful dark burgundy one. I can't remember what it's called, but really nice.
Well, that sweater, even that you're wearing, it would be nothing just to continue sleeves, and you could make it a long sleeve pattern, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's fun. It's really fun, because then you have, the accent, you wear a t-shirt under it or something for winter just to be a little bit warmer. But yeah, it's pretty. It's very pretty.
Thank you. And so, Kelly, what are you wearing?
I am wearing, for the first time this summer, I'm wearing my Miserina sweater. I think I wore it a few podcasts ago. And then you know what? It has sat in my closet. So the Miserina is by Caitlin Hunter. And I knit this using, get this hair out of the way again, Leo and Roxy sock yarn in the color pistachio. And then this is Knit Picks, the dark, in Fedora Brown. And I love the little bit of a lace pattern here and the color work. The rest of the sweater is plain. I'm wearing it over top of like a denim dressed type thing. And I have this dress sitting in my closet, and I intended it for this sweater, and yet the sweater sat there. So now that I pulled it out today, I'm going to wear it. I really like it.
No, I really like it. That's so pretty. I really want to do that pattern. And I might even do that pattern and make it long sleeved.
You definitely could. And I can remember thinking back to, what the heck would somebody knit a short sleeve sweater for? But now, well, firstly, you never get stranded on Sleeve Island. So that's the beauty of knitting a short sleeve sweater. But secondly, you have more options, because we get these days, like today is the perfect day. It's not any cooler. Southern Ontario is in a bit of a heat wave, but it's raining out. So it's gray and it's kind of dreary, and it feels like sweater weather, even if it's not sweater weather. So it's just kind of nice to be able to have something that's hand knit on against your skin. And this is so soft. Like, so this is literally not like wearing a sweater at all. It's super soft.
So, and it's the same with that sweater. Like it doesn't take a huge quantity of yarn when you do the short sleeve version.
No, I didn't. I used maybe a skein and a half in the pistachio, and
that's only a 50-gram skein in the. And
I didn't finish it.
Right.
I didn't come close to using it up. So it was a lot of fun. And it was nice, because not only did, like I said, you didn't just have color work, you had this little bit of a lace inset detail as well. And it was really fun. And so by the time you're all the way down to here, literally I've got, maybe 10 inches below of sweater. There was really nothing left to do after that.
Yeah. So and it's just round and round stocking stitch. So it goes quickly. And
well, it's not stocking. There is a pattern.
Oh, okay.
It might be a little hard to see, but there is a little bit of a texture in it. So it was something that kept your interest, but it's just not pearl bumps. They're sort of like pearl insets.
Okay. That's the pattern that's got the choice between like lacy,
a pearl here, or a lace.
Yes. Right. Okay.
And I thought, pretty. I think it depends. I think if you were this to me is a high contrast between the green and the dark brown. So I think if I were doing less of a contrast, the lace pattern would have appealed more. But when it was a high contrast, I thought between this lace and this bright, bold pattern, and then more lace below, I thought, and then that would limit my choices to what I could wear it with, because it would just be a lot going on. So I thought I would keep it a little bit more like a solid base. And then if I wanted to choose a pattern below, I wouldn't feel overwhelmed. But I'm very happy with the knit. Very happy.
Yeah, very nice. That's one that's going on the needles soon. After I finish all the other things that are on the needles. So
such a list. It never ends.
I know. And so many more new patterns keep coming out that are gorgeous. So, and yarns. Oh, well. Okay. So we should move on to our FOs.
Finished objects.
Yes.
What have you got? You can start. I know you have a lot.
Yeah, I've got well, it's been a while. So anyway, so my first two that I'm going to talk about, I actually don't have because I've already given them to their proper homes. So the first one is a sample sweater that I did for Leo and Roxy. The sweater is Mid Coast by Jennifer Steingass, and Kelly will put a picture in here. I did it in the Leo and Roxy basics. So that is it. I think it's a 75-25 merino nylon. The colors are, the main color of the sweater is the overnight oats. The main contrast color is the Leo. No, it's not the Leo. Yes, it is the Leo. I'm not positive. It'll be in the show notes. Okay. And then the pop of color is the antique aubergine. And when I was knitting it, it was kind of difficult to see, like the overnight oats and the main contrast, the lighter color, were very close to each other. So when you were actually doing the color work close up, it was sometimes hard to see the difference. Like you really had to keep counting to make sure that you were using the right color. But when you saw the finished sweater done, the subtle difference really did make a nice pattern. Like it really turned out nice. I was worried at first that there wasn't going to be enough contrast, but when I was done it, I really do like the effect of it. And then you just have that one pop of color in the aubergine color that really stands out. But the two colors did work really well together. So in that sweater, some of the things that I did, again, I did the bottom cast off using the Icelandic bind off. And then when I blocked the sweater, and I had meant to say this on the last podcast about, I blocked a baby sweater, but you know how when you block and you're doing the arms and you're doing the sides, and if you kind of just lay it flat, you get that fold. Yes. Like where you've laid it out. Right. And I just wanted the smooth surface. So I took a smaller pool noodle, like one that was like maybe like that diameter. Okay. Cut it up. Right? Just cut it in chunks. And then I could shove a piece down each sleeve so that you're still blocking it, but you had that smoothness then around here. So especially at the shoulder seam, you don't want that just to be that fold that kind of sits right up here. Right. So I put the pool noodle in. And then for the side seams, if you just kind of put the pool noodle in along the sides and spread them out to where you blocked, then you get just a really nice smooth outline around the sides of the sweater. And I've been doing that since I think we talked about it once on a podcast. So I've been doing that. And I really like how the blocking turns out without having those fold lines in it. Good. So that's just a little tip. And for baby sweaters, the pool noodles are a little big for baby sweaters. I take a tube from the inside of wrapping paper or paper towels. Oh, that's a good idea too. Yes. And I just stick those in because they're a lot narrower. But then you don't get those folds. You could also get, speaking of baby sweaters, there's like insulation that goes around pipes, the gray insulation. Yes. And you can buy that at Home Depot, and it's pretty inexpensive, and it's only a diameter maybe of a couple of inches. So that might be a good tool if somebody's looking for something to grab for blocking and they do a lot of baby sweaters or children's sweaters. That would work too. Yeah. The paper towel or the inside is fine, but if your sweater's really, really wet when you're blocking it, that's pretty much but most of mine, by the time I've wrung it out in the towel, they're dry enough that I could put that in. So. But yeah, I mean, they're pretty, like the insulation that you're talking about and the pool noodles, they're pretty inexpensive ways just to get a blocking tool that'll kind of help that. So, okay. And my second FO that I don't have was actually a set of tea towels that I wove. My son's getting married and we had a shower for my daughter-in-law. So I made her a set of tea towels. They'll look nice in her kitchen. She doesn't really have an accent color, but her kitchen is pretty much black and white. So I did a dark charcoal gray with the white and then just put a pop of red in and just did kind of like a plaid pattern. And Kelly put a picture in here and I was really pleased with how they turned out. I think I'll probably do more using that pattern. So,
Well,
and I hadn't woven for so long and I forget how much I like it and how I like the way that things turn out. So I need to get something else on there.
I exclusively use your hand woven towels now in my kitchen. I have trained my husband to never use them as hand wipes, and they're in my kitchen all the time. I love them. They are the best. They're so soft and beautiful.
They might, like I thought I might maybe even do some in the future because they'd make nice just hand towels in the bathroom for drying your hands.
They would. Absolutely, they would. Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So that's my first two that I don't have.
Okay. All right. I'll jump in with one.
Okay.
I have less than you, so I'll just like intersperse.
Okay. Okay.
These are finished socks. And these are, I love this, by the way.
That's amazing.
Yeah. This is Knit Picks Static.
I know. I didn't even know that yarn existed.
I know, but it's so much fun, right?
It is. It's pretty.
It matches everything here. It matches our background and the lights. So this is the color Cameo. And I did a German short row heel. So I haven't worn these yet. Okay. So I don't know if this is going to be a heel that's good for me. I have a really high instep. So like when I'm doing an afterthought heel, I always knit in 5 rows straight to account for this high instep that I have. So I don't know if this is, I mean, I've tried them on and they seem to fit pretty good. But I haven't done a wear test on them yet, but I'm pretty happy with the way they look. And in terms of actually doing the heel, I think this might be my new favorite heel to do. It's got to be the fastest heel you'll ever do. And the beauty of doing that is I had one end here and I had one end here. And it took me 2 minutes to whip those edges in. So that was German short row heel. And then I used a Finchley graft to do the toe, which also has quickly replaced my Kitchener. And I did a tutorial on this and I'll put the link above. All right. So the Finchley graft actually creates a finish. You can see it there that looks identical to the Kitchener stitch, but you can close that toe in about half the amount of time. And I know it doesn't take a long time to close a toe. It is literally 12 stitches front and back. But somehow when you whip through, you're like, whoo, that was fast. That's my favorite method. And the other thing that I like about the Finchley graft, I'm going to pull this off so I can see it better, is even with the Kitchener, and even though like I tuck those ends in really well, I still sometimes get a little bump on one side of when I do a rounded toe. So I like the toe to sit really flat, but that's pretty much bump free. It's really nice. It's a beautiful finish. So this is just, this is not a pattern. This is just something that I created. It's just kind of my own pattern. I just put a little thing down the side. Now, some of the things that people have said about the Knit Pick Static is that since the pattern is such a long repeat, they weren't getting 2 socks that matched. So what I did, and I seem to have lost the little ball. No, I didn't. This is what I had to wind off. I think it was about 4 grams, just this, that I had to wind off to get to the next pattern because I can't have mismatched socks. I've tried. I tried it one time and then I was like so fanatically trying to mismatch it intentionally that I could start to see the pattern happening again and it was driving me nuts. That messes with my head. I'm not that person. I like symmetry in my life. So, but I still have all of this left. So they comes in a 100 gram skein and I used 63 grams to knit this pair of socks and I couldn't be happier. I love it. I love the color. I just love it. They're super pretty.
And you have enough left to do a shorty pair if you put in a different heel toe.
I do.
And cuff.
Yeah. Now that would be a mismatched pair. So that might be a gift pair. They couldn't live on my feet. All right. What else have you got?
Okay. I have finished 4 pairs of socks. So I'll do those first. So the first pair, I believe I was working on these ones on the last podcast. So
Yes.
this is the Rose Hill Farms Sunday afternoon. Again, this is the same set that we're giving away as one of the prizes. So I do have my second sock here. So I do have a full pair out of the 50 gram and the 20 gram. So I only did, I think 12 rows here, but I still had a little bit of the pink left. So I obviously could have done more. So there's lots of yarn. I also still had some of this left, the mane. So I could have made them a little bit longer. So in this one, I did this is my German short row heel. Again, I really like it. Now in this one, obviously I had a little more to sew in because I put in the contrast color.
Right.
Right. But still super easy heel. And again, like Kelly, I've tried them on and they fit, but I haven't worn them to know for sure. But really pleased with how they look and love the fact that when you're done, the sock, you're done. And these ones I did toe up, then just plain vanilla because the pattern in this yarn is nice. You really don't need to put another pattern in it. But really, really like the yarn. Kelly has to do hers.
I know. And every time I see yours, I think, cast them on.
Yeah,
I've got to get to them.
Fun.
Maybe they'll be next now that I've got some room on sock needles.
Yeah. So my next two pairs are my Lucky Dip. So my Lucky Dip for June and July. So these ones I believe I had started last time. So these are an adult male pair. So these are a 72 stitch sock. This is the Arn and Carlos Regia colorway Summer Night.
Yes.
And then down here, I don't know if you can see it, the cable. I put a cable, but I'm just calling them my subtle socks on a plain because I didn't outline the cable with purl stitches. I just kind of put the cable in there. And that's like a full male pair of socks. And that's a good length in the leg. And I believe I still had yarn left in that. So, I mean, when you do an adult male socks, 100 gram ball in most instances is still lots of yarn to finish it. And that's everything, toe, heel, cuff, everything in the same yarn. And I always, when I'm doing socks, I always use a 2.25 needle. I think you do too.
Yes, I do.
Mostly. And men's, I do a 72 stitch. The women's, I do a 64 stitch. When I do some for me, I sometimes go down to a 60.
Depending on the yarn. Yeah.
Same here. Yep. So that was the June ones. And that's the Lucky Dip Cal that's being hosted by Kate of Hawthorne Cottage Craft. So it's a pair a month. So this is my next pair. And these are the simple skip socks. And that pattern is by, let me just check here, Adrienne Koo. And that's a pattern on Ravelry, free pattern. There's like 10,000 projects have been made in that pattern. It's a little harder to see it in this, but if I hold it up, you can kind of see the skip pattern there.
Yeah, it's
this
pretty.
Makes a really nice texture. The sock is actually, the pattern is written for a sport weight, but all you have to do is go by your, the number of stitches that you would usually use from a sock, and it's easily adaptable to do a 4-ply sock. So this is just the shadow wrap heel is just a different method of short rows. So I think as far as size wise, the heel is probably going to be about the same size. Honestly, I'm not sure I can really tell a whole lot of difference between the German short row heel and the shadow wrap heel when you look at them. I think if you look at both sides, this is supposed to match perfectly on each side, but I think the German short row one looks pretty good too, though. So anyway, so that is my 7th pair that I've done for Christmas.
You're so on your way.
I'm so happy about that. It means I've got 4 women's pairs done and 3 men's pairs done. So I've only got 5 more and then the kids' ones left to do. So and it makes it a little bit more paced out when you're doing 1 pair a month as opposed to doing them all in the last couple of months.
Yeah.
So, and then my last pair of socks here are these are my Fluffy Nanook socks, and they are by Twin Stitches Design. My son likes polar bears. So these have polar bears up at the top of the sock and snowflakes. And the only thing that I did, I just took from the pattern, the graph for the polar bears, and I mirrored them so that the polar bears would be looking at each other on his 2 socks when he walks around. And then the bottom of the sock, I just did a broken rib, which is like a knit 1 row and then a knit purl row. So the whole sock makes a really lovely squishy sock.
I love the color. It's like the perfect color of denim, that perfect denim.
Yeah, it's Lolo Did It is the yarn. It's her, what does she call it? Just Just a minute here. Why can't I remember this? I used to be able to.
It's because there's so many.
Anyways, it's her plush sock. So it is a merino tensile nylon. So I think the tensile kind of gives it that little bit of sheen to it too. But really, really soft, squishy sock. And again, I did the shadow wrap heel on here. And even this with being a colorwork sock, because I did the heel and the toe and everything all in the same, there really wasn't that many ends to weave in at the end. So I would definitely use that broken rib on a sock again. I really like how it came out and how it feels. And it's not that bad. I mean, it's every other row is you're doing knit one, purl one. But when you get down to the foot, you're only doing it for half the sock, right? Because the sole of the sock is all in stocking stitch. So, yeah. So he already had his birthday, but he's busy getting ready for his wedding. So haven't quite made it over yet to see him. And he's still working too. So I'll get it over there one of these days. But it's not exactly whether that he's going to be wearing those socks in anyway. And really at the bottom of them, they kind of just look like dress socks, and nobody's really going to see the polar bears, right?
No, and that's what I said. They're business on the sock and party on the leg, right?
That's right. That's right.
Both of our sons are getting married this week. So by the time this podcast airs, my son will already be married because he's getting married on Tuesday. And Noelle, your son is getting married on Saturday. So we're hoping to have the podcast up on Thursday. So you'll be in between family events for us.
Yep. And it's been busy. And this weekend I've had Zoe here. Ross took her outside. So she was a little noisy earlier on. So I don't know if you heard her on there or not. But
no.
Okay.
Not at all.
That's good. Okay.
So
Kelly.
I've got a pair of socks, another pair. Okay. So these were my Pride Month socks, and they're shorties. Let's get them up here.
Those are awesome.
Just fun. So I did cables on both sides. Okay. And I cast these on the day that we played bingo with Chip and Aaron from Fiber Hustle. And so what did I do with these? Okay. So these are in Knit Picks again. So it was a Knit Picks month for me. And this is their Felici sock. And the colorway is Sally. And then I did the toes, the heel, and the cuff in Duchess Heather. So it's a toe up construction. And then I did a Flegel heel, which is a really different, it's a very different heel. I like it for short socks. I haven't made a pair of tall socks using the Flegel heel. It's kind of an unusual construction. You get this weird sort of little V wedge at the back, but I really like it for the short socks because for some, like it sits higher and it stays on your foot really, really well. So again, I had just a 50-gram ball of this and I used 42 grams to make the pair and then 11 grams to do the toe, the heel, and the cuff. And I would have used probably less than 42 grams, but I had that odd little ball out again because I need to have
to match them. Yep.
Perfect match.
Yeah, but that's pretty good though.
You know, for a 50-gram ball, you can still get a pair of short socks and they're just really pretty. They're a nice summer color.
That's a really nice Felici color because sometimes in the Felici, you'll get two colors together that are pretty close in tone, but that one's really nice, distinct.
Yeah. And I just think this was very fitting for Pride Month. It's a little bit of a rainbow. And so with the double, I should show that too. So that's what I did down the front. I did an opposing cable with a band of stitches in between so that we've got cables going in two directions.
Oh, that's pretty. Yep.
Yeah. And they're just a nice fit and a nice quick knit. But having said that, I did cast them on in June and didn't finish them but I also wanted to say I was going to show it in acquisitions, but since we're talking about Pride Bingo now, I'll show it now. I won at Pride Bingo. I was actually the first winner that afternoon. And they give you an option to choose either a fiber prize or a fabric prize. So I chose fabric. And this is what I got. I got a slice pack of fabric. So this is easily get you started on like a lap quilt top. And I love the colors in it. The colors are all gorgeous. And then they sent along 2 spools of Aurifil thread to do some decorative stitching.
Oh, that's awesome.
Colors. So
I really like those colors.
Really happy with that. Happy to be a winner.
Yeah.
I love winning. I love giving prizes away, but you know what I like more? I like winning prizes. And it was so fun. We had such a great afternoon with them.
Yep.
They hosted a really great bingo. Everybody was really happy. They had a great playlist
Music going on. Yep.
Yeah, and we were all
Yep.
decorated. And I actually, that's what I put the lights up behind me for. But I've kept them because I really like them, and they
Yeah.
sort of look nice with our background today. So
Yep.
I thought I would turn on the purple. Okay, what have you got next?
Okay, I've got a few more. So in the shifty theme, I did do the shift cowl. So
pretty.
this is done in Shopple Wool Edition 3. The colors are, they're color numbers, and I'll have the numbers below, but the names are kind of hard to pronounce. One's called Wash Tug,
Okay.
and Tau Punked, and Taunt Emma. So that's one's easier to say, Taunt Emma. So it only took one. I only used one ball of each. I did it on a 3.75 millimeter needle. I probably knit a little tight. So this probably turned out a little smaller, but it fits me perfectly. And I didn't have to go into like a fourth skein. In fact, I still had a little bit left of each one of them. I love how the colors go together. It was so much fun to knit it because you're always wanting to see how the colors are going to combine in the next section. Mm-hmm. It's got a really nice I-cord bind off. I know a lot of you are doing this, but I see so many of them, and I love them all. And I'm like, oh, I want one like that, and I want one like that. I know.
And that's an absolutely beautiful fall palette. Like, you'll get so much wear out of that.
It really does. Like, it really does. It's one of those that you can just put on, and you don't have to do a whole lot of fiddling with it, and it just kind of sits nice.
Yeah, so that's an everyday with your denim jacket. It's perfect.
Yeah. So I'm really super happy with it. And again, it was so much fun to knit. That would be a nice gift knit because this cowl really doesn't take that long to knit. So, okay. And then I did this little baby sweater. So this is called Silver Fox, and this is a pattern by Lisa Shemery, who is Frogginette on Ravelry. This is done in Lion brand Kobo, which is a cotton bamboo yarn. It's 50% cotton, 50% bamboo. This is the 12-month size, and it took 1.5 skeins of the Kobo. So, and I thought cotton bamboo was probably a nice composition for a baby because it's nice and soft, and plus this is machine washable. Right. So
it's a really pretty stitch pattern too. But I especially like the little detail right on the sleeves. Just that, is it a little garter stitch before you go into the ribbing?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, this down here?
Yeah, it's just a nice little detail.
It's just one row of garter stitch before the rib. They do have that down at the bottom too. And then the cables also go down the back of the sweater. Really fun.
I would wear that as an adult cardigan. That's pretty. That's really pretty.
Yeah, I really like it. And I like just the 3 buttons at the top.
Yes.
And those were buttons I just picked up at Little Red Mitten, and I really like them. They kind of just pull in the. Yeah. Anyway, so I was super happy with that. So that's ready to be gifted. Then my next finished objects are my shifty mittens.
So fun.
So they were fun. So these are done in.
Tell us how you did that.
Okay, the main color is Madeline Tosh sock yarn, which is 100% merino. So that's just single ply of that. And then it's just a mohair. This is Catch a Concept silk mohair. The color is just a color number, but it's kind of like a taupey pink. Mm-hmm. And that's double stranded in that. So you get a really nice, even if you look at the inside of the mitt, like it's going to be really super warm and cozy when it comes time to wear them. So I didn't follow a pattern, but I did.
We need to eat lunch now.
Okay. Here, do you want to come and say hi for a minute?
Yes, please.
Okay. Whoopsie. Just a minute.
Hi.
Hi, Zoe.
That's Kelly. Can you say hi, Kelly?
Hi, Kelly.
Can you say hi, knitters?
Hi, knitters.
Tell them keep knitting.
Keep knitting.
Okay. Is Papa going to make you some lunch?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you have to because we're really hungry.
Okay. Papa will make you something. You go see.
You have
The
Anyways.
viewers who remember Zoe will probably notice that she's grown a little bit since she used to make camera appearances as a baby.
She's actually grown a lot. Anyway, so for this, I kind of took some just mitten numbers, like numbers for the body of the mitten from the Light Shift Mitten pattern by Paulina T. or Paulina H. Sorry, Paulina H. I'll put that in the show notes too. But I actually like that cuff looks really small, but it's stretchy. And I like my cuff to be nice and tight around my fingers. So that was actually smaller than the pattern. And then I had to adjust it because in this pattern, you don't get that much difference width-wise, but you do get a lot of difference in your row gauge.
Yes.
Right? So there's a lot more rows in there. No, you have to go with Papa, okay? Okay, so there's a lot more rows that you have to get in to get your length. So what I did is I did all the shaping on in between all the blips and just kind of worked it out. And then I tried them on as I went along to see where I should put them. But I'm really happy with them.
Too that you even did the thumb like in pattern. That's
it was pretty easy once you had set it up.
That's some small detailed
blipping. It wasn't fun.
No.
but you know, when you put it on, you want your thumb to be just as warm as the rest of your hand, right? So yeah, super happy with them. But so that's just another thing that you can do with that pattern, right? Because it's just not a very long row repeat, and you can just put it into different projects. So,
very nice.
Thanks. So that is it for my finished objects. And Kelly, you have something else?
Yeah, I did. So I did more sewing probably this month than I did knitting. And one of the projects, and I will insert some pictures as I talk about it, but one of the projects that I did was the Burnside bibs from Sew House 7. And I cannot say how much I love these bib overalls. I am obsessed. As a child, I did not wear overalls. As an adult, I did not wear overalls. But now as a 50-something lady, I'm all about the overalls. I just want, and I bought more fabric to make another pair. I'll show you the pattern for that later, but they're so much fun. So the way the construction, and mine are made out of linen, actually a linen cotton blend. So they do get a little bit wrinkly, but they're super comfortable to wear. And I made mine in a crop length for summer. And there's two versions of the pattern. There's kind of like a full out, really ruffled back end where the ties gather in the back end, or you can do a more fitted design, which is this one, and it has a zipper on the side. So I did the more fitted design just because I didn't think I needed all that gathering. Some people call it a diaper butt, and I have enough going on back there that I didn't need to add to my diaper butt. So I chose the more fitted option, but I cannot say how much I love them, and I've worn them a lot already. And since they're cropped, I mean, they're going to end with fall, but I'm going to say there's probably more of these in my future in a full length size. So that was the one sewing thing that I did. And then I thought maybe I'll just talk quickly about this. So I've been also sewing some things for the shop, and the shop update is going to be next Saturday, August the 14th at 11 a.m. And I've got such cute fabric coming in there. It's a little collection of these super cute moose and in a pool with Adirondack chairs. And they're so cute. I love them. So there's these colors. Here's another design. If you didn't like the Adirondack chairs, just the gray. Some of the moose you can see are even wearing little maple leaves on their swim trunks. There's some little pouches, the peekaboo pouches that you can see through. I've got some scrappy sacks of all different colors, and this isn't finished yet, but I wanted to show it because I love the color. These are going to be some of the scrappy sock sacks. And what I love about this is this hot pink linen. It's beautiful. Hot pink linen. I bought that thinking, what am I ever going to do with a hot pink linen? But now I know what I'm going to do with it. So that's been my sewing.
Yeah, that moose fabric is amazing.
Yeah, it is.
So
and then the other thing that I was sewing, and I don't have finished pictures, but I think a lot of people that watch us know that I traveled out west, and I was busy doing some sewing out there for the baby nursery. So we got the furniture, we got the room done, painted, redecorated, new furnishings moved in, and then I was busy sewing things for the nursery, some rocking chair pad, an upholstered pad to make a little book nook, some cushions, and just things to cozy up the nursery. So it was a big sewing 6 weeks, I guess, for me.
Well, you have to put, do you have some pictures? Do you have some pictures of all of that?
I don't know if we have excuse me, I don't know if we have an overall finished. If I can get Kendall to send me one of everything done, I'll try to pop a picture in here. But of course, the nursery will be so much cuter when there's a baby in it.
Well,
we are anxiously waiting. So
yeah, babies are awesome.
That's all that I have for finished objects this month.
That's all I have for finished objects. So now we'll move on to our whips.
All right, so on to whips. I have a couple that are active. I've got some that are that I'm still working on, but I've shown them on a previous podcast. One being the shift shawl, the night shift shawl. So I'm not going to show that one again because it's really close to being done. So you'll see that on the next episode. But this one, I'll show you what's living in here. This is a sock that I cast on when I was in BC. And I haven't had a chance to work on it since I've gotten back. And you can see that I obviously didn't have much chance to work on it when I was in BC. We were pretty busy with the nursery, I'll tell you. So this is a sock called Mr. Lockwood, and it's by my friend Melinda Meeser, who is Rye Flower Knits. And it has a really nice pattern on it. And she's doing a series of socks called Night at the Movies. So every sock comes from a movie. That's where it started from. And the yarn that I'm using is Songbird Yarn and Fibers, our friend Vicky. And this one is called Piping Plover. That's her label.
That's such a pretty color.
It is. And I mean, it definitely could be a man's sock, but I'm also thinking, my Blundstone boots and all the fall colors. So we all have a lot of, we're drawn to those bright colors and stripy things. I don't have a lot of neutral socks. I really don't. So sometimes I'll put something on and I'll look in my sock bin, and it's a big bin. I'm not going to lie. It's a big bin, but I just don't have something that goes with it. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to do something neutral that would kind of go with a lot of things. And I'm loving the way this is working up, even just in the
stocking stitch part.
Yeah, I don't have great light there. That's a better light right there.
Yep.
It's really, really, really pretty. She does a beautiful job. So that's whip number one. Do you have one to show?
I do. I've been working on again another shifty pattern, my shifty socks. So again, I put the shift pattern just into a plain sock. So what I did was I did 68 stitches this time because I know it will pull in a little bit. And then basically just put the shift pattern in, because the shift pattern is a 4-stitch repeat. So you want to have at least a multiple of 4 stitches to do it. And the yarns that I'm using are, this one is Madeline Tosh Twist Light in Coquette Deux. And then the blips are Totally Inked, who is from our area. And the color is, it's her 80/20 sock, and the color is, just let me check here. I think it's called Absolutely Wonderful. Oh, Something Wonderful. So so I've got the first one done. I edged it just in a little bit of the contrast color up at the top. I originally did it once and I put in the heel in the contrast color, but it was just too much. So I ripped it out, and I like it better with just the,
I like that.
Kind of like the background yarn in the heel. And then the second one I've got this far. So I've got to get these done by the end of September. So they're kind of like on my radar right now to get done. But I had birthday socks and whip socks for the Lucky Dip KALS. So I had to get them done. So now I can concentrate on finishing those.
So when you get those finished, you know that we have to get a picture of you wearing every shifty thing you own.
Every shifty thing. Oh, man.
We'll call you Shifty Noelle.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Okay, we'll do that.
It'll be a picture for sure.
It'll be a picture. For sure, because I did not coordinate them.
Nope. So the second project that I have going, and I don't know if I shared this on a prior episode or not. I know that I've talked about it in our weekly knit chat, but I really don't know. I think I talked about the yarn, but I don't know if I ever showed the project. So this is the chevron baby blanket, which is a free pattern from Espace Tricot. And that's what I have done on it so far. So the colors, well, actually the yarn is Comfy Color Mist, also Knit Picks. And this is a worsted weight yarn, and it is made up of 75% Pima cotton and 25% acrylic. So it's perfect for baby. It's so soft. Like I would love something in that. I don't know what I could wear in that, but so the colors, the gray is Foggy Beach, and this is Chive Blossom. And then the last color that I have to add in is called Inchworm. There's a better look at the color. So, which actually ended up working out really well because the colors in her nursery are white and a green. So this will be a nice accent that maybe she could, keep over the edge of the crib or at the rocking chair. But it's knitting up pretty quick. I haven't worked on it very much in the last couple of weeks since we got home, but it's really pretty. I like it.
Yeah, the colors are really nice, like really nice and subtle, but you've still got a little bit of color. And
yeah,
that yarn would make a nice summer sweater, like a summer cardigan.
I think it would too. I think you would have to, you could definitely do it on some tighter needles. I'm using US 9s. What is that? 6? Is that a 6? You're muted.
Sorry. I've been muting back and forth because Zoe's talking in the background. But anyways, I think a 7 is a 4.5. So an 8 must be a 5. So an 5.5 would be a 9.
5.5 or a 6. But anyway, so it's a fairly loose knit. So I think if you needled down a little bit, you could definitely use that as a cardigan. For sure you could.
Yep. Or shawls. Like that would make a really nice drapey shawl for the summer.
Yes, it would. Yeah.
There you go.
We need more of those.
You could fall for shawl.
I could fall for shawl. Yes. No, I have one picked out. I don't have the yarn yet, but we saw it. Do you remember? You'll probably remember. It was at VKL Columbus.
VKL Columbus. Okay, I might remember from there.
And it was the yarn shop that had like the camper van that we could go in. And do you remember? It was on the outside, and it was really pretty fall colors. It's actually where I bought my Emma's yarn that I made my love note from. And I took a picture of it, and I just fell in love with it. And it's never left my mind. So I really want to look in my stash and see if I have anything.
What's the name of the shawl?
I don't remember, but I have. It's already saved in my favorites, but it made an impression, and that's a couple of years ago, and I still think about it. So I thought I might do that in some fall colors, and I'm pretty sure I might have something in my stash that would
you
work,
might
maybe. So, and then the other thing that I wanted to show, it's not a work in progress yet, but I do have the fabric and it's washed and it's ready to go. So I'll probably start working on those, but this is yet another pair of overalls, and these are called the Yanta overalls by Helen's Closet. And they're so they're not as fitted as the other one in the waist. They're just more of a looser style, but I'm all about the overalls. I can't tell you, Noelle, how comfortable they are.
But the looser style would be nice for winter, like to do where you could put like a sweater on underneath them.
Yeah, for sure. So,
and I actually like those little short ones too.
Yes. Yeah, they are cute. I see a lot of people wearing these ones, and then they actually roll the legs up a little bit, like a couple of turns, and then that kind of gives you that summery paper bag type look, right? But
or you could do it in the winter, and you could then see your socks.
That's right. That's right. I know. So many options, and I'm thinking how I missed the overall train all of my life, and now just now hopped on it. I don't know. But they're so comfortable.
Yep.
So
okay. So my last whip that I'm actually actively working on, because I still have, we all know I still have lots of sweaters on the island. I visit them once in a while, but they go back. So I have worked some more on my shifty, because this one I do want to get done by the end of August.
I love that sweater.
So I just I love working on it. I love the colors. So last time I had just split for the arms. So I have gotten like quite a bit done in the body. And I'm pretty sure I'll get it done by the end of August. So, I just got, like I said, I'm basically concentrating on the socks and on this for now. And yeah, because,
I love it.
you know, like there's been some time now where you actually could wear a sweater. Like when we were up visiting Tracy and Bala, and up in Muskoka, it went down to like 10 degrees a couple of the nights that we were there. So you actually could have a sweater on.
Yep, for sure.
Yep. So that's coming along. And then the next thing that I do have to finish for August is my Lucky Dip. So I haven't started them yet, but I did pull out the skein of yarn that I'm going to use. So
this is that one too.
Do you have this one? This is going to be one for the men because it's blues and grays.
Yes.
And I try to be more selective. I don't want to do something that I don't think that the men would wear, but I tend to have more colors that have pink in it. So anyway, I think that one will work well for one of the men. And this is an opal yarn. So it's the German 75-25 sock yarn that I really like working with and I really like the feel of. So those have to get done by the end of August. So that's my goals for the end of August, is to finish my Shifty socks, my Shifty sweater, and my Lucky Dip socks. So now, do we want to talk about acquisitions?
Okay, well, I'm just going to show 2 stores worth.
Okay, I'm not going to show everything that I got because it would take too long.
Yes. Okay, so acquisitions. Okay. You start.
I'll start. I actually have a couple of acquisition gifts that people have given me that are actual projects. So this first one, and I wore it the other night on Knit Chat, but this is a sweater that Tracy gave me when I was up in Bala. Mm-hmm. So this is I just got to look this up. This is the number 323 shaped neck tee short sleeved. That's the name of the pattern.
Is it a drops pattern?
No, it's not. It's by Lana Knits.
Oh, okay. Because that just sounds, that's common with the name of drops. They have sort of these strange names, right?
Yes. So it's it's a nice kind of scoop shaped neck at the front, and then just like a nice round neck, yoked pullover at the back. And I've actually worn this both ways. I've worn it with the back at the front, so you get a higher neck, but then you get a really nice scoop in the back.
Yeah,
and then I've also worn it the other way with the scoop in the front. So
I love that color. I love the color. Like that's a color I love, but I don't see it on you very often, but it's beautiful on you.
Well, thanks. So this is knit in Hemp for Knitting number 210 Hampton. That's the name of the yarn. So the yarn and the pattern kind of have matching names. And this color is called Marine. And the composition of the yarn is 40% cotton, 30% hemp, 30% rayon, and it is a DK weight yarn. So now this yarn, it kind of behaves, it's got the hemp in it, but it kind of behaves a lot like linen, because when you wear it for a while, it tends to grow a little bit. But then once you put it in the washer and dryer, then it comes back
shrinks back up. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Really comfortable to wear in this weather. And Tracy did an awesome job and I love it. So thanks, Tracy. Mm-hmm. And then my next is also a gift from Jacqueline. So I got another pair of socks knit for me.
Ooh, very pretty.
Mm-hmm. So these are the Flora socks. It's one of the Flora patterns. It's by Olivia of This Handmade Life. She's got a pattern called Flora, but it's actually 3 patterns in one. So you get 3 different designs to put down the front of the sock. So this is one of the ones that Jacqueline chose. The yarn is lichen and lace. They're 80-20 sock, and that's the linen colorway. So there's my neutral socks.
There you go.
So they're very pretty.
They will look really nice with the Shifty sweater you're working on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And she did an amazing job. They fit me perfectly. And thanks, Jacqueline. So nice to get, because I think I've said before, like hardly anybody ever knits anything for me.
Well, why would they, right? Like nobody's going to knit for a knitter.
But it is so nice to get a hand knit gift from somebody else.
It's such a nice treat. Yeah, for sure it is.
So,
I have plastic, sorry.
Okay, while Kelly's getting that out too, I'll just show you. I did get my set of these, my little Chaigu. These are the mini twists, but this is the size that goes from 3.5 up to 5 millimeter. So these are the ones that you can make an 8-inch, 12-inch, 14-inch, maybe 16. I'm not sure. You can get different cord lengths. So they're perfect for your sleeves or socks. Like if you were doing, let's say you were doing a worsted weight sock and you needed a bigger needle. So you could get your 8-inch sock out of that. So I've got the red set and the blue set now. And yeah, I find doing sleeves on your little circular is a lot easier than having to do magic loop or to do 2 different needles.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. Okay. So my first acquisition is from, all right, I went with my son's fiance to pick up her wedding dress in Guelph. And as luck would have it, there was a yarn store right beside the bridal store. How perfect. And it was called, I'm going to put some pictures of the store. I took some pictures. So as I'm talking, I'll put those in. So the store is called All Strung Out. And I have to say, it's really exciting to be able to go back into yarn stores again. Like we've not been able to do that due to the pandemic, and we're not going to dwell on that, but it was so nice to actually get hands on yarn again. And so I'll show you what I got there. So the first thing that I got, and I wanted to have the sweater like done by now, but you know, shift happens. But I bought a sweater's quantity of the Barocco Chai. And this is in the color, well, it doesn't have a name on it. Okay. But anyway, it's 56% linen and 44% silk. And I've already knit a swatch, and the pattern, I'm going to put a picture in of the pattern that I'm going to do too. So I'll pop that in now. And then this is my swatch that I've knitted and blocked. Wow. So you can see the color. And pretty. I love this color. I think it's going to be like the perfect summer color. Now I know the summer's almost over, but it doesn't matter. I'll have this other.
Does the pattern have sleeves?
The pattern, no, it's just, yeah, that's right. I guess you don't know. No. You can't see the picture yet until I do the editing. But it's called the Cloud 9 Tee. And it's by Andrea Yetman. And it was a Bizcock yarn pattern designer. Yep. So it has like a lace pattern just down the front. And then it has an interesting shoulder concept. And then it's short sleeves, probably about this length right here. So it would be something that I'm probably not opposed. I would wear it through the fall, and I could wear it over top of a dress, like with long sleeves. And so it's just like a loose, shifty style sweater. But I love this color. It's not a khaki. It is just an absolute beautiful color, and it's got that little flecks of white in it, so it really gives a nice so that was the first thing that I got from All Strung Out. And then I also got where is it? Oh, here. This is the Prolana. So it's again the German yarn that we like for socks, and it's called Fjord Socks, and this creates a pattern. So
pretty. They're
really pretty. So I bought this one for myself, and then I bought this one for you, and I haven't seen you to give it to you yet. But
it's very pretty.
Not quite a pink, but it's definitely not a red. I would definitely call it peony, more peony. Yeah. And with the gray, it's really, really, really pretty. So but it's definitely, it's that 75-25, and it's a definite German yarn that we really like. So I thought either you can use it in your lucky dip or you can use it for yourself, but they're really pretty.
No, it'll
colors.
Be for me.
Yeah, they're pretty colors. So that's what I got there. So do you have something else?
I do. Let me just grab it here. Okay, so I showed that one skein that we're giving away for the sock KALS. So I actually bought quite a few more from Rose Hill Farms because I just couldn't resist. So again, it's the same bundle. It's the 50-gram main skein with the 20-gram mini. So this color is called Barn Owl. So, and that one's probably going to be a prize for one of our future sock prizes. And then this one is called Tidewater, and this one is for Kelly. This is a color that we gave away. I think Mary was the one that got it, and she really liked it, but I know you had a hard time parting with it.
I did.
It's such a pretty color. So this is Tidewater. And then this one, I got this color and this color is called Ice Cream Sprinkles. but the one's kind of got the purpley mini with it, and then the one's got the green mini with it. So these are to do socks for the 3 granddaughters, because with the 2 skeins, I'll have enough to do 3 pairs of kids socks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then the ones that I got for myself, this is called Peach Meringue.
It's so pretty.
It's really subtly pink. And this one is called Classic Peonies.
I love that one too.
The green and the roses with it. And then Rachel gave us some yarn to give away on the podcast. Rachel, my daughter-in-law.
Yes.
So this is some Noro sock yarn.
Ooh.
And like this yarn would look awesome in one of your shifty patterns.
It would too.
Right? Because it's got the color repeats. And especially if you pick something neutrally for the background, like a taupey beige or gray or a black, that would really make that yarn pop. So those will be prizes in some of our future knit-alongs. And then she also gave me some Noro yarn.
Oh, I love that one.
So this one is Noro.
So pretty.
This is Noro Silk Garden Solo. So I don't know. I've got enough here to do a summer top, so I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do with it. I'll have to wait and see. But again, any of the Noro yarns you really could use in the shift patterns.
Yes.
So, and this one, the Silk Garden Solo is wool, silk, nylon, and mohair. And the Silk Garden Sock is the same. I think this one is I think they're the same, but this is the long color repeats, and this is more just like blips of color every so often. Yeah. Yeah. So
really
nice composition of the yarn. Okay. I have a few others, but I'll have to get it, but you've got some more.
Okay. So on our trip to BC, I went into Wet Coast Wools. And I have, again, some pictures of the store. Again, it was so much fun to go into a store. So I have pictures of the store that I'll kind of pop in here as I talk about it. And it has actually changed hands. So they have a new owner just in the last couple of months. And her name is Margot. And she's lovely. I had a beautiful conversation with her. She has some absolutely gorgeous yarns in that store. And I will definitely be going back. She had some things.
I think you can order on. Well, I mean, you're going out there, but I think you can order online there too.
You can, and that was one of the things that I said I was going to talk about too. Both of the yarn stores that I'm talking about today have online ordering as well. So if you don't live near them, Wet Coast Wools is in Kitsilano in Vancouver, and so you can order from her online and. She's just getting ready to sort of go back to like mainstream retailing again and starting to get I think they have an evening knit group as well once a week that she said that they're going to be starting up again. So the yarn that I got there, this is a Norwegian yarn. It's very rustic for me, but the color, look at this.
That is gorgeous.
It's like such an absolute, like, it's not a Merlot. I would definitely say it's a deep, deep berry. And I meant to look up how to pronounce this before, but it's is it Solia? I don't know.
I think it's Solia. I think it's Hillesvåg Solia. Okay. Yep.
Yes.
But correct us if we're wrong.
Please do. So it's called Dark Rose. And I guess that does sum it up. It's absolutely beautiful. And
it is.
My intention when I purchased it was a colorwork sweater. I'm thinking I could see this with like a cream or a gray, like maybe a Jennifer Steingass pattern. And I love her colorwork patterns. They're my favorite to wear. And this color, look at this color. So it's rustic. It's rustic, but
you know what? Tracy's done a sweater in that, and I felt hers, and it was nice and soft, the sweater. So I think you might find that it might change a little bit when you wash it, when you block it. Perhaps. But anyway, it's absolutely beautiful yarn. So I got that. And then I also and originally I bought this thinking about a baby cardigan. And then I got home and I started looking at the content when I was chatting with Noelle and realized that it's probably not a great idea for a baby cardigan, but it's the petite knit and it's a Sandnes garn. So I don't know if this is available to us or anywhere near us. It's the first time I've seen it, and it's called Sunday. Look at this color pretty. Though. Gorgeous. So like I said, I was thinking baby, but it is, what did we say it was? 100%. I think you said it was 100%. Is it merino?
It's 100%. Now, again, this is it's a Norwegian yarn, and it is 100% merino wool. But, you're going to have to wash it separately. You're going to have to lay it flat to dry. I don't really see it going really well for a baby cardigan. So now I'm going to rethink it into something else because they're honestly not colors I'm opposed to either. I think they're really pretty. So maybe even just like a shawl, like a smaller shawl. So I have 150 grams. I could do something small.
Yeah.
Or if I added a mohair to it, it would be a beautiful hat, like a color work for a hat. It's
if you
so
added mohair,
pretty.
You probably have enough to do a color work hat and mitts.
Probably.
Yeah.
Because it's so pretty, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the other thing I got. And then lastly, they have a dyer that is local to them. And I always like to try to find local dyers when I'm shopping as well, just to see, what their take on color is, living in different areas, what they're going to see as something that appeals to them. And this is a dyer. It's called Puzzle Tree Yarns. And I bought this one for myself. And it's a 75-25, 113 grams. But this one is called Hoosier. Look at the color of this.
Oh, that's pretty.
That's
nice.
It's muted and beautiful. And
so is it kind of like a gray background?
No, it's a beige background, like a taupey beige, right?
Yeah.
And then it's got little pops of color. But I love her speckles. Like you can see how detailed the speckles are. Right?
Yeah.
Like that's going to be a beautiful. So it is her sock yarn. So I'm probably going to use it for socks. And again, it's going to be, it's a fairly high twist too, when I'm looking at it now. So they're going to be springy. They're going to be really springy. It's very soft. And then I got this color and I thought this one might end up in our prize bin too, or it might not. I'm not going to make any promises, but it's called Washi and I love the color. Look at it.
Pretty. Yep.
It's so, so pretty. And she's got little pops of color. And anyway, so I always like to find something local and I think she's got some beautiful color sense. So that's what I got there.
Okay, I'm just going to grab this one thing here. Okay, so when I was up at Tracy's in Bala, she had picked me up a couple of plates of this, and we talked about this the other night on Knit Chat, but this is a pencil roving from McCausland's Woolen Mills in Prince Edward Island. It's probably comparable to like something like a Plutalope. This is 250 grams. I'm not sure of the yardage in it. Like this is one thing that I'm actually going to probably have to swatch before I knit something with it. But in 250 grams, I know I've got, and I've got 2 plates. So I know I've got lots for a sweater. And I think it's soft. I don't know if you'll think it's soft or not, Kelly, but I think it's soft.
Well, Tracy says she thinks I would find it rustic, but if it's a layering sweater,
I don't know that. Seriously, honestly. Well, anyway, I don't know, but anyway,
I'm going to live vicariously. I'm going to live vicariously through you. I'm going to let you knit it first, and then I'll reserve judgment for the finished project.
Okay. And I've actually got some that's very similar to this that I got way back, like probably 25 years ago when I used to work in a knitting store, and it didn't have any labels or anything on it. And they used to get it in to make the thrums in mitts, like when we were all doing those thrummed mitts. And it's about this size. I wouldn't be surprised if that's where they got it from.
Okay.
So, but I've got like a soft gray and a creamy color. So I'm thinking a cardigan with some color work at the top in the gray or the cream.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So anyway, we'll link that below too, the McCauslands, because I know a lot of people were interested in it when we talked about it on Knit Chat. So the only other thing that I want to show is I did get a couple more colors in the Kobu. That's the cotton bamboo blend from Lion Brand. So I'll just grab them here. Okay, so of course I had to get, that's looking white, but it's pink.
It's pink.
Really pale pink.
It's pink for sure. It's pink. It's beautiful.
As there's the white.
That's the white. Yeah.
And then I thought this was a pretty color to do like a baby sweater in. Or
see, it's like
yeah. So I just picked up some more of that because I think it's a great yarn to do baby stuff in, because you can throw it in the washer and dryer, and it's cost effective, and it's, you still got your natural fiber in the cotton and bamboo, and
absolutely.
Yeah. And really good price points. So that's a lot of stuff.
It is a lot of stuff. We have packed a lot in. We need to get
knitting. Yes, we have.
Yes. And it's been a long episode. We had a lot to show. That's what happens when 6 weeks go by and we don't get together. But it was all fun. It was all
Yep.
fun. And
But
so just to kind of recap,
nobody's getting married after August 4th until next year when my son gets married in September.
That's right. Looking forward to a little bit of a chill. Yeah. Yesterday, for example, so this is typical of every event the O'Connor family has ever attended. On the very last day, mom is getting everybody ready. So this is a little bit of life chat going on here. I'm usually the last person out the door, which everybody says, well, she's always late. But no, it's because I had to get everybody ready ahead of me. And nobody seems to think, when they're going to a bit of a formal event, they should check their wardrobe ahead
beforehand.
of time. So yesterday I actually had the wedding dress here. It was getting some final alterations for fit for the bride. So it's upstairs and ready to go. And then my son showed up with his suit. He said that I had made a comment about the way the shoulder sat. And so he thought, well, maybe mom needs to give it her pressing or her steaming. So he brought that over. So that's hanging down here. That's today's job. I still have to do that, do a final steam on that. My husband got his suit out. He checked for suit, shirt, tie, shoes, everything. And then noticed that his suit coat happens to be missing a button. So that's another project for today. My outfit is picked out, by the way. It is picked out. And I did try it on last week and I'm happy with the way it looks. So I'm pretty much good to go. But we are staying overnight, not with them. We're staying overnight about 10 miles away at a little B&B hotel. So I'm in the process today of thinking, what do I take for knitting? Because it is about a 2.5 hour drive
right
to their cabin in the woods elopement venue. And I'm thinking that, I'm thinking yarny things. What can I take with me? So that's that. So, and how's your life going? Are you busy with the wedding? Or?
Well, yeah. We have Zoe here for this weekend. I'm actually driving her back to London after we're done here. So that's I know London's only an hour, but by the time you drive down, drop her off, go in for a few minutes. Of course, I have to stop at Costco and Farm Boy and then drive back home. It's still the day over, right? And then we've got different things going on this week for the wedding. I know all the girls are going for manicure, pedicures. Then we've got the rehearsal, I think, on Thursday. All the guys are getting ready here on the Saturday. I mean, all the guys, they're all my sons except Jen's brother, right? So, but still, I want to have food for them because I want them to eat something. And so it's just getting a lot of things ready. Plus, it's just, plus all the normal things that you deal with in life, right?
That's right.
So
that's right. So, so it's a busy week for both of us and but a happy week.
Yep.
And I guess that's pretty much it. So I think we're near the end. So I guess we'll just wrap everything up.
Yep.
And Noelle will
say where you can find us.
Where you can find us.
Yep. Yes. And I will have show notes with, I will have everything linked. So I'll have the links to the stores that you talked about too, Kelly, the Wet Coast Wools and All Strung Out. And all of our projects will be linked. And again, we want to say that if you have trouble with Ravelry and can't access something, just contact us. We'll be happy to help you with anything that we can.
Absolutely.
So, go ahead.
Sorry. No, it's so hard. I was going to say, this is our formal podcast. So if you've followed along with us for a while, you already know this. But if you're new, firstly, if you're new, welcome.
That's
and
right.
If you have stayed with us through this long journey today, even bigger welcome. It's been a long episode. We try to keep the episodes in and around an hour, but sometimes there's a little more. But on Tuesday evenings, we also have we call it our Tuesday Knit Chat. And that is, we have a very, very busy, active, chatty group that happens on Tuesday nights. And it's a live session on our YouTube channel. And so we bring our knitting. We get very little knitting done. I'm going to be honest. We get together and we have so much fun. We've gotten to know so many people that regularly come to the Knit Chat, and it is it's a hot spot to be on a Tuesday night. There's a lot of things. We will not guarantee that every conversation is knitty, but we will guarantee that you'll have a good time. And so we would encourage you, if you found this podcast and you're looking to be part of something interactive, we would love to have you join us to knit together on a Tuesday. It's our virtual coffee shop knit group, and we're sort of all over the place. So that's where you can find us on YouTube and what we have going on in our offerings to you. And then I also host a tutorial channel where some of the techniques that we talk about that we're incorporating in our knitting, have turned into little tutorials that
Yep.
if there's something that you might have a question of, if there's something that you think you might like to see that Noelle and I have talked about that isn't on there, let us know. I'll try to make that happen if I'm capable to do that for you. And yeah, so
Yep.
that's
Yes,
us in a nutshell.
Yep. So on Instagram, I am Noelle's Knits and Pieces, and on Ravelry, I am N's Knits and Pieces.
And I'm the same on Ravelry and Instagram, and I'm the Tangled Stitch. And you can find us there. I will say Noelle is the more active person in our forums and on the replies. We love to get your comments on our stories, on our podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
And
yes, but
Kelly
does all the editing and putting together
all of the back end stuff,
all the tech stuff. So believe me,
it's a really good,
the more difficult job.
And I honestly
would not want to do that.
I don't know how one person does all of the jobs. Like I love our partnership because we split the tasks, and we can each help one another. And I don't know how one person, it would be a full-time job, but we totally enjoy doing this. We love to do our all of our crafts that we do. We love to do it. We love to share.
Yep.
And we love to have you share with us and show us what you're up to as well.
Well, and even since doing this, and especially with the knit chat, like I've learned so many things because, you just bring up something and someone has a better idea on how to do something, and, something else that you can learn. And I mean, I think that's what keeps knitting really interesting for me is you're never going to know it all. There's always stuff to learn.
It is a lifelong learning. It really is. And I just wanted to say, this is a fun little tip that somebody gave me. I'm obsessed with these from Coco Knits, the little, I call them marshmallows, the end of the needles, right? Oh, this way. And I wish they sold just the little ones because these are really what I need. I need them on the little ones. Well, after I was talking about this on Knit Chat one night, so here are some life skills that I'm going to pass on to you. Somebody said that she uses earplugs and she just cuts the chubby end off and then she pops that onto the needle and it's exactly the same thing. And I'm like, mind blowing.
Yep.
So
Kelly,
you guys are teaching us.
You just got to watch with those little marshmallows that grandchildren don't try to eat them.
Well, I don't have that problem yet.
But
the grandpuppies might like them.
Just saying, they do look pretty yummy.
I was worried about my husband. Never mind the grandchildren. He likes marshmallows too. Okay, now we're rambling. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. And just so nice to be able to connect with everybody and share our passion for crafting.
Okay. So we'll see you soon. Stay safe.
Happy making.
Happy making.
Okay. Were you waiting for that?
Yes, I was waiting for a break. I had to sneeze so bad.